How are you doing and are you liking Dhaka so far?
It's a fucking honor to be here. This is the first time in Dhaka. Thanks to Iftikhar from Banish The Posers for bringing us in. So we're looking forward to the show tonight. I think it will be a fucking good show. Many great bands we met, a couple of bands we saw so far, and we are anticipating the show tonight.
Well, it's an auspicious moment for us having IMPIETY in Bangladesh. So I would like to ask you, how did all this come about? How did Indian Invocation approach you for the Bengal invasion? And how important is it for you to tour different corners of the world where it might not be best known for metal?
Well, you know, I got in touch with the Bangladesh scene a couple of years ago. I believe some guys wrote to me. I can't really remember, but then Iftikhar from Banish The Posers came to Singapore and he met me there, and I knew that he was organizing some festival or a festival. So I got to know about Banish The Posers, and then we talked, and then we decided that 2014 IMPIETY would make an appearance in Dhaka for the first time. I've always wanted to be in this part of the world because you know, I love Asia. You know, I'm a son of Asia, and I would love to always travel and meet true metal warriors throughout our Asian continent.
All right. We all know that IMPIETY is a heavily touring band. You guys have toured to different parts of the world, a lot of continents, countries with so many great bands. Which countries or cities would you pick as your favorites?
Well, favorites, you know, each and every country, there's always something special. But favorites would be, and craziest shows would be perhaps Mexico, and I would say USA. Was a great experience in 2011. We played 19 North American shows. It was pretty insane as well. So I would say USA, Mexico, good scene, a lot of violence, a lot of die-hard, dedicated fans. You know, you can't compare with Asia, it's totally different. But if you're asking for really extreme people, there you go. It's Mexico and USA so far.
How tough and restless does it get while touring different countries at a stretch? Like you guys just arrived in Bangladesh yesterday evening, and you guys will be leaving for India tomorrow early in the morning, where you have 2 shows in 2 different cities. So how do you maintain this tough schedule?
I don't know.
Enjoy it.
Yes, you know, I'm a regimental guy, so I used to be in the army. I'm pretty much used to this kind of lifestyle where you know, go from point A to point B in just a few hours. So, especially if it's the band, I'm excited, I'm all pumped up, I'm all geared up, just ready to destroy it. So I don't like to waste time, but although, you know, sometimes I like to stay and see more of the city, you know. But when it comes to playing and touring, heavy touring, yeah, it's normal for me. I think it's, I'm born to do this, so there you go.
Well, you said you're the son of Asia. In the last 10-15 years, a lot of bands have emerged as powerhouses in the global metal scene. And you've seen it with your own eyes, the changes and improvements. Where do you see it going? A lot of bands are coming, still coming. Where do you see it, the changes?
I think when it comes down to media representation of the bands, it's so much better than before, you know. Asian bands always have a tough time promoting their music, and I would say in the last couple of 5-6 years, bands have, yeah, you know, the escalation of new bands, new albums. I think all boils down to better promotion via media, you know, social media and stuff like that. So I think there are pros and cons. And on a positive note, I mean, it's good to see a lot of Asian bands from each and every country, South Asia or Southeast Asia, or Asia in general, yeah, you know, get well promoted this time and be more recognized across the world.
Well, a lot of young bands who are not experienced yet across Asia, they go through a tough time to promote their albums, their band worldwide through proper labels. Do you have any suggestions for them?
Yeah, I would say, when I started out, it was really, really hard. When I started out, we used to make flyers, photocopy, Xerox flyers, cut them up, 500 to 1,000 flyers, put them in envelopes. When we trade our tapes, demo tapes, it used to be really, really hard because we spent a lot of money on postage. We used to write a lot of letters, It's so much convenient now to write an email. But I would say, even if you write an email today, nobody replies you. Back then, the scene was smaller. I think everybody around the world wanted to get to know each other faster, quicker, and the only way was writing a mail. Today, I think everybody has been spoiled. So, a quick email, and sometimes you check the email, it's up to you whether to reply or not. But I would say, in general today, it's tougher, mainly because you have more bands. And metal industry out there is totally different, Back then it was the underground. Now it's so much different. It's an industry, it's pop culture. Sad to say, but that's how it works. And labels only want to sign bands that can sell. So they don't want to sign another band, for example, that sounds like Exodus, or another band that sounds like Slayer, blah blah blah. They want something out of the extraordinary, And that's going to be tough because you have thousands and thousands of new bands emerging. And most of these bands are mixing subgenres. It's crazy. So, I would say it's really tough, but still, if you have the magic to make it, you possibly could get signed by a really good label.
Speaking of Asian bands, how well aware of you about Bangladeshi bands and Bangladesh metal scene? How do you see it in general?
In general, I know of Orato, I know of Nafaman, I just saw N Machine, fucking killer. There are a lot of good bands here, so I would say, on a positive note, I'm pretty much impressed because more or less, all I can say is the scene here is on par with other scenes, It's very good support from the local community. That's very important. So maybe in future, maybe if you have more sponsors, there will be a plus point for the promotion of the local scene in general and also local bands, so that you may get a wider audience in the end.
Did you ever know that you have so many fans in Bangladesh?
Yeah, actually, I didn't expect it, but pretty much surprised that some guys, they know the track list, they know the song lyrics. Pretty much impressed and very honored and appreciative that we do have fans in Dhaka and throughout Bangladesh. So I think it will be a killer night tonight.
Let's talk a bit about your gears. What rig do you use for your recording and live gigs?
In general, honestly, basically we just use a BB6505, for backline or an MPEG standard, So I'm not really particular about gear or preamps, but line 6 we've used that. I've used that for guitars as well, preamp. I think that's pretty much okay. My bass rig is pretty simple. I just have a turbo distortion, nothing else except a tuner.
What bass do you use?
Currently I use, I love two basses right now. One is Killer from Japan. I've been using that for a couple of years, more than 15 years actually. But give and take in between, I've changed a lot of basses, so I also use PC Rich.
Are you endorsing any brands?
I used to be endorsed by Monsoon Bass, and then another brand from Italy, I totally forgot the name, Imperium Guitars. But it all boils down to what I love to use, so I don't really care about branding, If it feels good, I feel good, I'll just take it and play it, play and destroy it. So,
as we know, it used to be called the Sex Fago from 1988 to 1990.
Yeah.
So what made you change the name?
Because Sex Fago was more of a high school thing. When I started out, I was just learning to play instruments. So that was when I founded a band. And then after school we would head down to the local studio, and then we would play cover songs from Destruction, Hammer, early bands and stuff. So we recorded a rehearsal demo, which which I still have at home, but we never really released it because I feel it's not really great to release, you know. It's just part of good times with really good friends from high school, good memories throughout the Sex Fargo days.
So next year, in 2015, IMPIETY will be witnessing its 25th year. Do you have any special tour or release lined up for that?
I think that's a good idea. You know, I'm really busy now with a full-time job, but I'm still very dedicated to metal and the underground, of course. So we'll see what comes around. It's hard to say, but I hope to go back to the States, USA next year. Maybe do another 2 weeks or so in Europe. That's about it. I never look far ahead, so I take what comes and I take it with a smile, man, and a very angry face as well.
When can we expect the next full-length album?
Actually, I've started just fucking around with my guitars and all. I have a couple of good riffs in my head, so I just need to really sit down. I just need a good 2 weeks to take off from what I'm doing, my current job, and just sit at home and in solitude. Everything comes to light, and then I just start and finish one great album. So, you know, I'm looking forward to that. I think early 2015.
Yeah.
I'd say February will be a good time for me to really sit down, get everything done, and within 1 month, just hit the studio and get it recorded.
All right, we are at the end of this conversation. My last question would be, what do you have to say about Primitive Invocation for putting up this awesome gig?
Hey man, honestly, me and IMPIETY, Rando and Nizam, we are fucking appreciative of the hospitality and everything, man. They put together a really good show today. We really hope not to disappoint the fans, so we'll give it our best shot tonight. Ravage and conquer, man.
All right.